Yeah.
Wonderful is Jesus whom I now adore. Every day and hour I praise Him more and more. Marvelous the visions that I see each day. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. Jesus keeps me happy, keeps me singing all the time. More and more I praise Him as the hills run up. He's the light and gladness every moment of the day. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. Drive away to set me, but I'm not refined. Grace overcome them always will be mine. Give me strength and courage at my side He'll stay. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. Jesus keeps me happy, keeps me singing all the time. More and more I praise Him as the hills ride by my glory. He's the light and gladness every moment of the day. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. I shall share His glory when I see His soon come. I shall praise Him ever in the soul's bright home. That I may be with Him through the endless day. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. Jesus keeps me happy, keeps me singing all the time. More and more I praise Him as the hills ride by my glory. He's my light and gladness every moment of the day. Jesus keeps me happy in the glory way. Amen. So have something on your heart. I heard an old story, how a Savior came from glory, how He gave His life on Calvary to save a wretch like me. I heard about His from me, of His precious blood touched me. Then I repented of my sins and won the victory. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me and He bought me with His redeeming blood. He loved me and I knew Him, and all my love is to Him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood. I heard about His healing
destructive things. They're doing things that shouldn't be doing. They need prayer. They need prayer and they need glory. So let's pray for them. Let's pray for the families that's lost loved ones. Pray for those that's on the front lines taking care of things. Pray for all our doctors, our nurses, all our first responders. Pray for them, but most often pray for our lost. Our lost need Jesus. And that's the reason why the church is here. That's the reason why we have the opportunity we have today. And we want to see them saved. So I know our family desires prayers. Dad told me to tell everybody this morning that he loves them. And he's had a little backlash again. But he said he's thankful that the Lord's brought him this far. So continue to pray for him. Pray for Ralph. Yesterday we Melvin's dad. Yesterday his sugar got really, really low. And it was probably the worst I've ever seen. So pray for him. He's really worn out, tired today. So pray for that situation. Also pray for Brother Ken. Ken's having some back problems again. Pray for him that God will touch him and strengthen him. And we're just excited to see everybody here this morning. We appreciate you. If you're here, you're not a member of Olive Branch, this is your church. Just treat it like your church. We're all one family. And just make yourself at home. We love you. Anybody got anything on their heart they want to mention before we pray? All right. Not Terry. Those that have not spoken with us, lay a look to the right hand. All those that will are able to scatter around the altar over the prayer. If you feel comfortable praying in your seat, please do. And we have Brother Jared. Pray.
Lord's God. You are going to follow up in the Lord, and you can have us in that Lord, pray. Lord,
song, a testimony, something the Lord's laid there for you.
You ready?
Start with music now.
Out on the waters, storms raging high, the waters around them, they were troubled that night. Fear filled their hearts, thought they would die, but they failed to remember Master was nigh. He spoke the word, winds all stood still, even the waters obeyed His will. He calmed their storms, like He will mine, if I just remember that He lives inside. Why should I worry? Why should I fear? When this very same Jesus, He is always so near. He lives in my heart, and He hears when I cry. I'll call on His name till the storm passes by. We read in the Bible how He walked with them, bright light to the darkness when the waves grew dim. How great it would be to have His footsteps in mine and walk with the Master all of the time. And when trials come and death seems so nigh, I'll cry to the Master. I know He'll be there on time. And when sickness comes and my body's in pain, all I have to do is call on His name. Why should I worry? Why should I fear? When this very same Jesus, He is always so near. He lives in my heart, and He hears when I cry. I'll call on His name till the storm passes by.
Morgan, will you guys sing with Hannah? It's so peaceful in your arms of my Lord.
This whole world is full of pain and misery. Sometimes Satan sends in lashes out at me. But with Jesus by my side, I am satisfied, and it's so peaceful in the
thankful that I have a place of peace and comfort in His arms. And I woke up with that song in my heart in the middle of the night. And I'm just thankful that He is a place that I have. And this morning when I was reading it, I started reading in Revelation, and that's not where I usually read anything from, but I was reading it in the 2nd chapter, and He said, I know your tribulations and troubles, and I'm just thankful that I have a God that knows. He knows what's going on, and He knows what concerns us. He knows what's happening in the world, and I'm just thankful I have a God that knows.
We got page 341 requested in the hymn. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. And we trials and temptation. Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful, who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Are we weak and heavy laden? Covered with the load of care. Precious Savior, still our refuge. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Do thy friends despise, forsake thee? Take it to the Lord in prayer. In His arms He'll take and shield thee. Thou wilt find us always there.
Amen.
If you never read the words to that, I think it would really touch you a lot more. But if you read that, it says, do thy friends despise, forsake thee, take it to the Lord in prayer. Exactly what this world is going through. It's all right here in the song. Take it to prayer. Take it to God. He'll save us all. He'll protect us all. I know it seems kind of hard with everything that's going on in the world, but in that song right there, it just shows us that we need to rest in Him and rest in His Word.
Amen.
Evan, can you sing Nothing Will Touch Me?
Bless
For the words. Bless. I'm trying probably, but I don't, the worst part I don't know is the beginning.
While they're looking, I'll just say, the song come across my mind, that nothing can touch me that doesn't pass through his hands. No matter what we're gonna face tomorrow, or what we're facing today, nothing can touch us
That's right.
that he doesn't allow. We just have to look to him to lead us through it, because he's there, he'll lead us right through it.
That's right. Listen more.
I have a good vision, but these are really tight. We'll try it anyway. Many times, burdens drive me to my knees, and I wonder what the reasons can be for the things that bring me pain, for the things filled with rain, and my tears like the river start flowing again.
Joshua chapter 22. Joshua chapter 22. We read about 3 verses to get just where we want to get where our thoughts at today. Joshua chapter 22, starting at verse number 26. Joshua 22, starting at verse 26, he says, "Therefore we said, let us now prepare to build an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but that it may be a witness between us and you, and our generation after us, that we might do the service of the Lord before him with our burnt offerings, and with our sacrifices, and with our peace offerings, that your children may not say to our children, in time to come, ye have no part of the Lord. Therefore said we, that it shall be, when they should so say to us, or to our generations to come, that we may say again, behold the pattern of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings or sacrifices, but it is a witness between us and you." And that's where we'll stop reading right there. Now, it's our prayers this morning. Let me hit what's on our heart. And as we said earlier, the world is in turmoil. In every situation right now, it just seems like there's negativity. And everything that's going on out there, it just seems like it's problematic. Taking a situation that has gone from what was bad to where they're protesting to give their rights, and they should. What took place was a horrible thing. But what's come out of that has just become something that's devastating to everybody that's involved. And it breaks our heart to see those type of things and those situations going on. But my mind drifted to this chapter as I began to read over in Joshua. This is a time where the children of Israel were getting what was theirs. What was promised to them. God had told them as long as they would stand firm, Brother Danny, and they would do exactly what he told them to do, and they would follow and heed God's word and do everything that God commanded them, that he would lead them into a land of milk and honey. He would lead them to a place that was set up for them to go and worship God and to do those things that was pleasing to him. And it took many, many years for them to get there. A matter of fact, if you read over in the early part of this chapter, and the chapters before this, you'll see Caleb coming to Joshua and saying, "Joshua, listen, I'm now 85 years old. I've been through the way here a little bit. At 40 years old, I was told by Moses to go out and spy a country. And I did exactly what he said. I went out and I spied this great land, the land that we're now standing in. And this is the place that I looked at and I said, this is the place that God promised me." And he said, "I went back and I gave a report to Moses just as he said. But there was others that denied and said, yes, the land was good. But we can't overtake them. They're too great. There's giants there. There's too many things." He said, "So I spent 40 years in the wilderness." In other words, it wasn't up to me. It wasn't anything I did. But I had to travel for 40 more years into the wilderness. And then finally, after 40 years, God said, "It's yours. You can go and take it." But he said, "Joshua, the battle's never stopped. For the last 5 years, we've been battling still. Even though it's ours, even though God said it's yours." He said, "For 45 years, we battled to get here." But he said, "I see Hebron, and that's where I want to settle down. That's the place where I want to go." So we find the children of Israel finally, after all their battles, beginning to divide the land, beginning to say, This is what you work for. This is what you prepared for. Now it's yours. What a feeling that must have been to get to that point. That forever out there, Shannon, it was coming, but they couldn't see it. But today, they were there. Church, that's how it is. Sometimes in our walk, God promises, and He's faithful, and He's true unto those promises. But He doesn't say that along the way we won't have trials, we won't have tribulations. But He said, when you get there, rejoice in it. Church, I want us to just get there and rejoice in what God has given us. You say, well, I can say that He's truly blessed us. I can say that He's truly kept us. But I still feel like I'm battling. I still feel like that we're in the midst of trouble. I still feel like there's turmoil on every hand. Church, I want to remind you, it's going to be that way till we get home. No matter what happens in our life, it's not going to be an easy street. It's not going to be a bed of roses in every direction. But there is victory. There is joy. And there is comfort. And serving this King, I want to say today, don't be bogged down by everything that's going on. Know who you are and know what God has done and rejoice in it. That you're still counted in the number as one of His kids today. But here they are. They're in a spot. There's a couple of them broke off and they went and possessed their lands. But as they went and possessed their lands, they heard that they had built an altar. They heard that their own people, a half-tribe of Manasseh, some of the other ones got together, Reuben, and one of the other groups got together, Gad, I believe it was, and said, we're going to build an altar, and we're going to build it right on the borderline. And it's not going to be just any altar. It's going to be a great altar. They're doing it, Shannon, because they want to memorialize what God had done. But I want to tell you what the devil does. Right away when they built this, word got back to the rest of the children of Israel, and they began to say, they've already strayed. They've already drifted off because they built an altar. They're going to sacrifice to strange gods. They're going to do things they shouldn't do. And here we are after all this. And this is what we got. Not once did they find out. Not once did they research it. But they came to Joshua and said, Joshua, we've got to go back and we've got to stand against them. Matter of fact, Joshua, we're going to have to kill them. They can't do this. They can't forsake our God. So they did with the intent to go back and slay their brethren. Right back into the midst of those that stood with them, of those that battled with them. They were going to kill them. Well, I'll tell you what, into our country, into our churches, some good to investigate what God's doing and that everything is all right. Before we react, before we respond, before we do anything within ourselves, we should take it to God. So here they were, these men got together, all the great battles and all the great armies that they'd already went through, they were going back to destroy their own people. What the Bible says as they got there, Joshua with all of his great mighty men of value, they went in, but the priest said, wait a minute, before you go, let me
step in to talk to them. Let me find out their intents and find out what's going on. But Shannon, they were lined up. They were ready to draw for battle. But thank God there was a man of God that said, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to go check this out. And he sat them down and said, listen, boys, here's what we see. Here's what we've heard. You all are building an altar. You know you can't sacrifice this way. You know you can't do those things. So what's going on? And it said, the Bible said, that Reuben and Gad and half tribe of Manasseh began to sit down with this man and said, brothers, understand this. We've been in battle with you. We've went all this way. We've stood firm. We're not going to go back on what God has done for us. We want this to be a memorial for us and you. That when our children raise up, they'll see we stood firm, and that you stood firm, and that God gave us this ground. Thank God, church. God's given us this ground. God has blessed us with this people. Now I want to ask you, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use it? How are we going to give God the praise for it? Listen, they began to say here, they said, let us now prepare and build an altar. Not for burnt offerings, that's sacrilegious. Not for sacrifice, that's sacrilegious. We're not going to do that. But that it may be a witness between us and you and our generations after us, that we may do service of the Lord before Him with our burnt offerings and with our sacrifices and with our peace offerings, that your children may not say to our children in a time to come, you have no part of this. We've all been through the same thing. He said, therefore said we, that when it shall be, when they should say to us or our generation the time to come, that we may say again, behold the pattern of the altar. That's what we want to preach about for all our lives. Behold the pattern of the altar. If there's ever a time, church, that we need to have a pattern of the use of the altar, it's today. If there's ever a time that we as God's children should go back to where we should have some cue stains on the old altar, it is today. It's not about a world of coronavirus. It's not about a world of riots. It's about the church taking its stand and being who they are. We've been established by a pattern of holiness. We've been established by a pattern of godliness. We've been established by a pattern of Jesus. So why don't we use it? Why don't we stand for it? The world is trembling all around us. And you know what they're looking for? A pattern, a model of their life after. Amen. The problem with the world today, the problem with all the things that are going on, they have no life to model themselves after. They have nothing that they can look to and say, I want to be that way. I know that this is right and I know that's wrong. So I'm going to stick with what's right. All they've been shown wrong their whole life is what's been wrong. All they've been shown their whole life is a world of hate. All they've been shown their whole life is a world that wants to chew you up and spit you out. No wonder there's rebellion. No wonder there's trouble. It's because there's been no pattern laid out for them in the use of an altar. Amen. We've got youth that's graduating. We've got youth that's coming up, going into high school. We've got youth that's going to graduate in the next couple of years. I want you to see a pattern of this church and the use of an altar. I want you to see the pattern of God's people and the use of an altar. When everything goes wrong, Paul, and the world crumbles at the seams, we can get just as guilty as the Jared and get mixed up right in the middle of it. Like yesterday, I received a text from some brothers down in Cincinnati, some pastors at some black churches, and they said, we want to start a prayer chain. We want to start a prayer line. We want everybody to come down and stand in the midst of all this and pray. Hey, that's great, brothers, and I'm glad those that went did that. But my prayer chain began when I seen this happening, and I said, God, they need to see there's still an altar that they can go to, that still has power, that still has fire, and you still here. I'm all about gathering in numbers. I'm all about praying in numbers. But there's time you got to use common sense too. Huh? Common sense isn't get in the middle of that garbage because they don't care who you are. They don't care what you're there for. They don't care what you stand for. Because they don't stand for nothing themselves. They're confused in their head. They're using it under false pretense, Eric, saying they're doing it for this evil reason that's happened. Yes, they were, but it went south real quick. Why is that? Because they left the pattern of the altar out of their lives.
Amen. Bless you, Lord.
If we had a pattern of the use of the altar the way that it should be, when 9/11 hit and they flocked to the church, there'd have been something to keep them there.
Yeah.
Amen.
Huh?
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, let's just be real, church. We failed.
Yeah.
Let's be real, church. We've let it down.
Bless
You say, hey, I've held up my end. Well, praise the Lord. Pray harder for me. But the reality is, Paul, somewhere along the line, the church let down.
Bless you, Lord.
That's why we're in the spot we're in today. That's why there's so much hate in this world. That's why they'd rather kill you because of your looks
Yeah, come on. Bless you, Lord.
than to say, brother, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. They'd rather go back to the color of our skin and make it about that. It's not a skin problem. Listen to me out there, I'm telling you, it's not a skin problem. It's a sin problem. The world's in trouble because of sin. The world's not in trouble because of race. The world's not in trouble because of prejudice. The world's in trouble because they left God out of their lives. And they've left a pattern of an altar, Evan. This is the place where the church would come when they had a need. This is a place the church would come when they had a burden. This is the place where the church would come and say, God, I can't fix my family.
Yeah, come on. Bless you, Lord.
God, my kids are wandering. And I can't reach them. God, even though I can't, you can. And they would use the altar. And they would cry out to a God that not only heard, but answered.
Amen.
But we've left that. Why? Because we're too busy doing everything else. We're too busy with our minds. We're too busy with our hearts in other places. And we're forgetting the pattern that's been established for us. I've got lost, church.
Bless you, Lord.
You know, unless God intervenes, they're going to die and go to hell.
Bless you, Lord.
And there's nothing I can say to them, Ron, that's going to make an impact or a change. It seems like they've turned so cold. Their heart is just melted and turned bitter and turned angry and turned solid stone.
Yeah.
I can't bust it up. I can't tear it down. But yet I still serve a God who can.
Amen.
I still serve a God who does.
Bless.
And when the church gets where they need to be and gets the pattern of the altar restored in their life, God will get their attention.
Amen.
You say, well, don't you think what's going on out there is situation was wrong? Yes, I do. That's my opinion. What I saw troubled me. What I saw was a man take the life of somebody else. It's there. It's wrong. But damn, what I've seen since then goes back to a lot of hearsay.
That's right.
Goes back to a lot of what ifs, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that was never verified.
Bless them.
Went back to a pattern of disobedience. Went back to a pattern of rebellion. The Bible says rebellion is the same as what? Witchcraft. Right? You don't think this world's evil? You better check it. You don't think what's happening out there? The devil's not sitting back with a smile on his face as he's wringing his hands and saying, hey, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. And laughing. Like God's people are saying, I don't know what to do.
Bless
I don't
them.
know what to do. I guess all we got left to do is just pray. All we can do is just pray. All we can do is just pray. Why is that our last go-to? Why is that the last thing we think about? If there was a pattern that was established, the church should have been on the altar and said, God, the world's falling apart. We know in the last days it's going to happen, but God, there's still time. My lost is still here. God, I'm begging for your mercy. Get a hold of this. God, get a hold of this. The church hasn't. Church isn't. They're picking sides. They're choosing. And they're wondering what to do next. I said, let's get back to what we're supposed to do. The only thing we can do. Let's go to an altar.
Bless them.
Ron, that's my altar. That's where I first met him. That's where I first found him, Eric. Was at an altar. That's where he changed my life, Dan, and made me a fit subject for heaven. And ever since that moment, on March the 14th, 1984, as a 10-year-old boy, when he stepped into my life, he gave me the ability to keep coming back.
That's right.
I'm not going back for salvation anymore. That's done. But every day, I've got to go back for strength, for peace, for comfort, for questions. Why? Why, Lord? Why, God? Sometimes, Shannon, I'll never get that answer. But when he speaks to me, he gives me the peace I need to close the book on it and say, okay, God, it's yours. But I want to say this, church. Behold the pattern of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings, not for sacrifices. In other words, they made it to get in touch with you. The Bible tells us in the New Testament to go to our prayer closets. Still away, just you and God, and tell him your very heart's desire. But the greatest thing about that is, he knows what's on the heart. He knows what's on the mind before I get there.
Amen.
But sometimes, just be honest, Kevin's got to go back and unlock the door to get into the closet. Kevin's got to go in and open the door of the closet and clear out some cobwebs. Clear out some things that got stacked in there. In my house, if I want to hide things and get rid of it, open the closet door and I shut it in. I slide the closet door back and nobody knows it's there but me, because I put it in the closet, it's hid. I can't treat my altar like that with God.
Bless them.
I can't treat my relationship with him as, okay, God, today, I don't need you. I'm going to close the door. And when problems arise in my life, I'm going to open that door and I'm going to start picking things out and say, okay, God, now you have time for me? And he says, I got time all along. Where have you been?
Amen. Yeah.
Where have you been?
Bless him, man.
I've not left this spot. I've been right here waiting for you.
Yeah.
But instead, your life got so compiled with cares, with problems, with busyness, with work, with family, with church. You say, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Yeah, you can have a good intent of doing things good in the church, but that's all it is. It's a good intent. You can work, you can strive, you can do anything. But are you doing it for God or are you doing it with God?
Come on.
There's a big difference.
Bless him.
There's a big difference. I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying this morning. I'm just giving what's on my heart.
Amen.
There better be a pattern of an altar in our lives, and not because I need it myself. I do. But because there better be some way markers that I've established for my family when I'm long gone, Homer. When this life is done for me, that my kids can look back and go, one thing I can say for sure, Dad prayed on his own. One thing I can say for sure, Dad prayed. When Dad didn't know what to do, Dad didn't know where to turn, Dad couldn't give me an answer I needed, Dad just went praying about it. I failed a lot of times in the church.
Bless him.
Sometimes Kevin reacts. Sometimes Kevin responds. And I forget the pattern that's been established.
Amen. Come on.
This is a pattern that I didn't establish, Danny. This was a pattern that was laid out from my forefathers.
Bless him.
When they established this country, they established it to remove tyranny from their life. And to have the place to freedomly worship a Savior
Right.
with no strings attached.
Right.
Our declarations have been secured and signed and sealed in blood of folks who signed their name and said it, and we did it in God's name.
Amen.
They can try to erase it, but it's there. That's just 200-300 years ago. This is a pattern that Jesus laid out from the foundation of the world.
Amen.
When Adam and Eve sinned, God had to sacrifice and clothe them. First thing he told them to do was build an altar. What did Moses do after the world was destroyed by flood? He come out with him and his family, he built an altar. It was a pattern that was established, that was designed for us to use. Church, the world will tell you do things there. They're going to tell you that there's problems on every hand. They're going to tell you that there's concerns in every way. And they're going to tell you we're going to do it my way. I'm asking you as a church